Good morning and welcome, Wicked Smart listeners. Hey, thanks for joining me this week. This is Chris Pre again, and my focus every week in the show is to empower you in some shape, form, or fashion to take action, to change behaviors, to think differently. I know today is going to be more about thinking differently, only because there's been some changes in the legal world as far as your entities, your asset protection, etc. And I wanted to make sure I inserted that into all these cool guests that we've had lately. Now, this is an individual in a company that we do a lot of business here, okay? So buckle in while we bring you the next Wicked Smart Masters class. I'm going to hang out today with Mr. Tommy Thornburgh. Now, Tommy's the president of PCS, Prime Corporate Services. He's also the brain and the face behind all the company's webinars, presentations, and events, and oversees, 50 or 60 what he calls corporate advisors on his team. And under his leadership, actually, PCS has helped over 100,000 plus entrepreneurs structure their businesses like we do for our associates. He's also joined the team as one of 3 corporate advisors. Now, since then, he's grown his team to include 50 people that are helping more than 400 new entrepreneurs a day. Guys, think about the wide scope of that, how many people he touches. Now, we have the fortunate experience to work with Tommy because he is one of the key referral partners that, as you go through the QLS home study course, or you go through the associate program, or you go through the group coaching, it's probably going to be suggested to you, among other options you have, it's up to you, that you work with PCS. So without belaboring it, Wicked Smart listeners, let's dive in here. All right, Tommy, with that as a little backdrop, we're going to get to know you a little bit better here. Welcome to the show, and I'm going to say welcome back to our chatting. I think it's been 5, 6, 7 years.
I know. When I saw your name the other day, I was so excited to see it. It has probably been 5, 6 years, so it's great to see you. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, you bet. And as I said to you, and I'll let the Wicked Smart listeners know, our companies, as I said in the intro, are aligned. We've been aligned. We're just doing a lot more again together, raising the bar. So you guys are the beneficiaries of that, whether you're at an event or whatnot. So, Tommy, let's start. I want to start bare bones, as I already did the intro, obviously. Let's talk to, there's so many different people in the audience. I'm thinking, let's talk to the person that maybe is just getting started, because I know, and I want you to comment on this, but I think one of the many mistakes is they think they don't need you right now, right? Oh, I don't need them yet. I'll do that later. So what does the person getting started do?
I love this question. We get asked this quite a bit. The first thing I'll say to that is, this is your business. This is your opportunity, right? And what's more important than anything is feeling comfortable with the decisions that you're making, being the business owner, right? But if we look at the other side of that, when you're committed and you have the intent to being a real estate investor, setting yourself up properly from the very beginning is a no-brainer, right? Give yourself protection, tax benefits, show yourself as a business. It's a lot easier to set things up properly from the beginning than it is to go back years down the road and have to redo everything from there. So even if it's one LLC, to show the IRS that you have the intent to be a business owner and to take business-related deductions, I think that's a great place to start. And crawl before you walk before you run.
Okay, so let's do the opposite of that, because I'm sure you've had these. I've heard of them in my community, and that is someone who didn't do that. I'm sure there's all kinds of horror stories, but what are some mistakes you've seen or speed bumps if they didn't do that at the beginning and they tried to go out and operate? Anything come to mind?
Oh my gosh. So I was at a real estate event in Orlando, Florida. This is probably about a year and a half ago now. And a gentleman comes up to me. He said, "Tommy, I got to tell you a story real quick." He said, "When I first listened to you, I looked at my wife and I said, we don't need a Wyoming holding company. We don't need to have Prime set it up for us." He said, "I'm going to go do it myself." So he said, we did that. We went to the Florida State website, set up an LLC, and got our first rental property. He said, about 2-3 months after we got the rental property and the tenant in there, he said the tenant came knocking on our door at 2:00 in the morning. And so he said, "I got 2 little girls. My wife's freaking out." She said, "Get out of real estate." He thought that the power bill wasn't paid, didn't realize that there was a hurricane going on in Florida. So after everything worked out just fine, everything was okay, with the exception of his wife. And his wife said, "Get out of real estate. This isn't worth it." Why are we doing this for rental income? Let's just keep our jobs. And he said, you know what? I met this crazy guy, Tommy. Let's see if he can help. So he called us back and we set him up so that he had privacy, he had protection. And he said it's been about 2 years since he's retired his wife and he now works real estate full time. So that's a fun one because it ends with such an awesome, amazing success. But we run into that all the time from a privacy standpoint. Set yourself up with the thought in mind of it's not if you get sued, but when you get sued. It's depressing, but you would do things differently if you were in the middle of a lawsuit. And I think it's important to think about that as you structure your business.
You know, it's interesting. I have what my accountant and some of my attorneys call the old legacy companies. So when I first started, I didn't do it right. So we got like 2 more properties to sell, and those are gone. And miraculously, over the last 12 years, I got sued. The company got sued twice. They were going after insurance money, for following or whatever, what have you. But my point is, all the new entities that were set up properly, the way you describe and the way you initiate, I never have an issue with them. They're private, that people can't find them when they go for an asset search. The bloodhounds. I just find that amazing that over the last 12 years, that was very predictable.
We have a lot of those legacy clients. That's your accountant's nice way of saying you messed this up. Let's just fix it moving forward. And I got to tell you, a lot of times that's the best way to do it because we don't want to have you set everything up and have it cost a bunch of money for no reason. Let's protect what you have and moving forward, give yourself, here's the 3 things. These are, for any of the listeners, these are the takeaways I tell people to really take into consideration whenever you set up an entity. Privacy and protection. How much privacy do you want? How much protection do you need? That will change as you build more wealth. Number 2, tax benefits. Profit or loss, good or bad, how do you put yourself in a better position? And number 3, credibility. Play the part, be a professional, show yourself as a legitimate business, not only to your clientele, but to banks and lenders as well, to be able to build business credit.
So I want to make sure, and I want you to give it anything else you want to share with them, but I want to make sure, because I get babbling and forget. To get more information on Prime, go to smartrealestatecoach.com/PCS. Real simple. P as in Paul, C as in Chris, S. Okay? And I'll put that in the show notes, guys. Tommy, let's talk about you a little bit, because I think I love when I'm on shows and people get to know me, because then that tells you what's behind the company, right? Sort of. So what drives you? What sort of gets you rolling? What's your motivation?
Yeah, thank you for this. I love this. We started Prime Corporate Services about 12 years ago. And to take you real far back, my mom was a real estate agent and my dad owned a real estate brokerage growing up. So I thought it was real estate all the way through. My parents split when I was really young. And looking back, one of the greatest things that ever happened to me, because I joke that the only thing they agreed on for my sister and I was that they wanted us to be self-employed. Other than that, I don't know how they lasted 3 years. I'm grateful that was the one thing they had in common, right? So when I turned 18, I drove from Salt Lake City, Utah to Raleigh, North Carolina. And I knocked door to door selling pest control. That was my first self-employed gig.
That's some good training.
Made about $40,000 in 4 months. I thought I was the smartest human being in the entire world. Mom can't tell me anything anymore is how I'm thinking at this point, right? Until tax time rolled around, and then I owed $10,000, and that money was already gone. So I learned very, very early how few people have good tax information and how difficult it is to invest into your future and invest into yourself while keeping more money in your corner. That's one of our mottos here is, it's not what you make, it's what you keep.
You know, Wicked Smart listeners, I was racking my brain this year and I said, how can I best help this amazing, huge now group of Wicked Smart listeners? And that is, at least my idea of that is, I want to help you on a personal phone call. I want to get on. I want to strategize a little bit. I want to advise a little bit. I want to help you in any way I can, because as you've heard me say many times over, it's not just about learning the skill set to do a deal. I can do that. You can go to YouTube and jump on our Deal Structure Sundays and do that. I want to get on a call with you so I can really tear apart where you are now, where you want to head, And what are the roadblocks in the middle? What are some skill sets we can improve perhaps in there? What are some mental skill sets we can improve in there? What are some systems we can improve in there? See, these hit all the areas of our genius model, the 3 pillars. Just head over to smartrealestatecoach.com/action, and that's going to get you on my calendar. I can't wait to chat.
12 years we've been with Prime Corporate. We do entity, business credit, tax, and estate. I've got a 3-year-old little girl and a 6-month little girl. So my 2 little girls are my clear-cut motivation, as well as my wife, of course. What I love right now at this point in my journey is helping your loved ones, your kids, your family, and creating a legacy, right? When you're building wealth, it's different than when you're looking to leave a legacy. And building wealth and setting yourself up properly in the very beginning is extremely important. But what I've found passionate is helping the clients that have been working with me for 5-10 years now, how to pay your kids. Both my daughters are going to make $14,000 this year. I get to write it off as a business. They don't have to claim it on their return. They didn't make enough money. Now, my 3-year-old had this brilliant idea to put it into an IRA. Should be $1 million by the time she's 25. But there's a lot of cool strategies, and there's ways that you can protect your assets that are no longer about me and my business. It's about the 300 employees that we have now, my 2 little girls, my wife, teaching and helping others understand how to benefit their kids, their friends, their family, their loved ones. You don't graduate high school knowing about taxes and interest rates and budgets. And I think if we can help friends and family do that, it's going to be a much bigger play than just your own business. So that's the passion project currently.
That's awesome. And so I kind of asked this at the beginning, Tommy, but the timing for this is now for everybody, even if they have screwed things up or they're brand new, right? We kind of said that. I'm tracking, right?
Yeah, it's been Chris and I have known each other for a long time, but we're going to help anyone and everyone. So the link that Chris had mentioned earlier, it is for a free hour consultation. Whether you're brand new or you've been in business for 20, 30 years, schedule a call, break down what you have in place currently, and we're happy to help you, whether it's setting up the legacy of what you did previously or making sure you're set up properly from the beginning moving forward.
So let me ask you this, Tommy. I'll ask for reasons in our community that I know of. So let's say somebody has a situation like I told you, I had some old companies, whether they're set up right or not. Should they go to you for a relook, or should they just do their new stuff with you? That's probably something that's on people's minds.
Yeah, it's a good question. Here's what I'll say about the hour call is it's for you, whoever's listening to this. And it's very important for you to share with us where you are in your journey, as well as what you have in place. I would rather review it. I would rather see what you have in place, and I would rather use what you have than have you set something new up. So as long as you're sharing with us what you have in place, it makes for a much easier conversation on how to protect yourself into the future.
As a whole, yeah. Okay, perfect. Let me ask you, because you're in the trenches on your end more than me, I only threw a couple questions at you. What else would you like these guys to know about PCS, about speed bumps, anything at all you want to share?
Yeah, I think that there's 2 things that I'd like to share here, and these are, one of them a little bit more depressing and the other one really exciting. The depressing one, let's get that out of the way. There's a new law that went into place January 1st, 2024, called the Corporate Transparency Act, BOI, Business Information, right? And what it's saying is if you set up your business entities before January 1st, 2024, you need to fill out this report by January 1st, 2025. If you set up your business entity after January 1st, 24, you have 90 days. Now it's new. It's the Financial Crimes Government Agency. They're saying they're doing it to avoid money launderers, scammers, all these other things. Do I agree with it? No. Does that matter? No, it's above my pay grade. But the reason for that is if someone's a scammer, I don't think their first thought is entering their information into a government agency, right? That's my problem with it. But yeah, they're going to ask for your name and your address and your driver's license or your passport. Don't let it scare you. It's something that we can help with. So for anyone listening, make sure that you get that done before the end of the year. Have you heard about that? Are you familiar with that at all?
Yeah, so you're talking about FinCEN, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Just in case they hear it. And then I want to make sure that my understanding, and it's serious if they're listening to this, my understanding is there are heavy fines as of now, at least in theory, if you don't comply, correct?
Correct. Currently, they're saying up to $500 a day, or they are even threatening up to 2 years in jail.
Yeah, so this is not like what Tommy just threw us over an idea here, guys. This is real. And will you guys do those filings on any new companies you set up and any old ones that come to you, or just new?
We do it all. We do it all. So if we set up a new entity, we include it. If you have pre-existing companies, we have a portal that you'll be able to go in and log all your information into it to stay on top of it. But we will be able to do all of them, and it is absolutely a service that we have added. It's very, very important. So something we'll be able to take care of everyone with.
Okay, so because a lot of these guys are real estate investors, the corporate side sounds like rock solid. Do you guys do anything outside of the entity structure? Meaning, if they do a deal, is there anything other than the structure of the entity? Is there anything that you like? Do you do trusts or anything like that, or just the entities?
Yeah, so the 4 primary services that we offer: entity structure, as you mentioned. We also have a really cool business credit development service. We're currently getting over $4 million a month in business credit and corporate funding for our clients, which is really cool. We've got a full team of accountants and CPAs, so we file quarterly, annual taxes, bookkeepers, and then we also have a team of attorneys, and we do a lot of estate planning, trust, wills, living wills, power of attorneys. So set it up the right way. Proactive versus reactive. There's a big difference between filing your taxes and planning your taxes. And if you can plan throughout the course of the year, take advantage of the tax code that's over 70,000 pages, there's cool things that you could do, right? I want you to be able to pay your kids. I want you to be able to run the Augusta rule, rent your house out up to 14 days a year tax-free. There's really cool things that you can do from a tax standpoint to keep money in your corner. But those are the 4 services that we offer.
I love it. So for more information on that, guys, smartrealestatecoach.com/PCS. Tommy, if we jumped off right now and you answer the question, why the heck did Chris not ask me this? I wanted to share this. What's the last thing you want to share? A nugget? Anything?
I mean, real estate has created more millionaires in this country than any other industry, right? And what I'll share with you just as a closing thought on my side is, I mean it when I say set your business up with the thought in mind of it's not if you get sued, but when you get sued. There's 70 million lawsuits a year. 40 million lawsuits a year. It's an average of about 70 a minute. And a lot of them are like you mentioned. Quick grabs, right? Insurance claims, slip and falls, breach of contracts. But once you're set up the right way and you can focus on generating income, the reason real estate is so amazing is because you can depreciate real estate, keep money in your corner from a tax standpoint, build long-term cash flow and build wealth, and turn this into something really special if you haven't already. So I love real estate. It's been in my blood since I was born, my mom and my dad being in real estate. I currently own over 70 doors, and a lot of it is due to strictly depreciating it and being able to create more cash flow and build that legacy for my 2 little girls. So think bigger. You got this. Reach out with any questions. And to you, it's great seeing you. I can't believe it's been so long. Thanks for having me back.
Tommy, yeah, I appreciate it. And I want to point out something you said at the end there without, consciously doing it, and that is that you're in the trenches, you've been in the trenches, and you have real estate. I think it's so important for the Wicked Smart listeners to know, because they know I don't bring guests just randomly to bring guests. When you have a firm such as PCS who also has real estate, they get you. So make sure you jump over to that link I gave you. I'll put it in the show notes. And Tommy, awesome to see you. I know we're going to hang out and do some more things together. Thanks, buddy.
Look forward to it. Thank you.
Okay, Wicked Smart listeners, that wraps up our time together with Mr. Tommy Thornburgh. I just want to remind you of a few super important things, and I'll put them in the show notes, okay? First of all, the link we gave you for PCS is just smartrealestatecoach.com/PCS. Now, other things I'd be remiss not to give you. We have a really, really cool event coming up because we're going to action-pack, power-pack 4 50-minute sessions in our next virtual event coming up for day 1 and 2, and 3 50-minute sessions for day 3. Super easy for most people to get to, right? Virtual event, just 4 50-minute sessions on March 20, Wednesday, 4 50-minute sessions with a 10-minute break between each one on Thursday, day 2, March 21. And on day 3, we're going to raise the bar. Those of you that see the first day or two, or you're in and out of those, and you decide, yeah, I'm serious and committed, and you want to go to day 3, we're just going to go 10-1. And we're going to hammer and we're going to raise the bar and talk to you about how to find deals, sellers that actually can't wait to get your help and want and need your help and need a guide. That's number 1. Find those guys. How do you talk to them, for goodness sakes? Everybody's so afraid to talk to them. We're not convincing people, folks. We're just looking to help people every single day. So after we find them, we're going to show you how to deal structure in this event live, real case studies with students just like you, most of which had no experience, like some of you. And third, we're going to show you how to capture the 3 paydays. Now, I'm going to leave this bomb with you. Our 3 paydays across the nation range from 45,000 to a high of 300-some-odd-thousand. I used to say 250. Just a week ago, as of this recording, we closed the payday 3 at 317,000. That didn't count the other 2 paydays. Guys, this is significant. And the timing of this event is significant because the demand right now for you, once you understand creative real estate, is huge. I want to give you a 50% off ticket. Go to smartrealestatecoach.com/summit. That's smartrealestatecoach.com/summit. And you're going to use a coupon code, words are hard. Podcast50 is your coupon code. Podcast50. Now, if you're not sure about this event, I'm telling you, every single one of you can separate that much time for our 10-3, 10-3, and 10-1. But if you're not sure, and/or for some reason you're getting married, or you're going to be at a funeral, or you're going to be out of the country, let's you and I chat live. I don't mind giving this out. Go to smartrealestatecoach.com/Chris Pre Call. That's CHRISPRE call. I want to chat with you one-on-one. I want to help you get through whatever barriers you think might be standing in your way to transacting real estate the new way with 3 paydays, so you're not on a treadmill. And it's so important because if you were there already, you wouldn't be here, right? So let's make sure we get on a call together and dissect what's holding you back, because those paydays are too big for you not to get a hold of.
Thanks for listening to the Smart Real Estate Coach podcast. If you're ready to invest in yourself and take your investing to the next level, check out our 90-day Jumpstart program by going to smartrealestatecoach.com/jump. That's smartrealestatecoach.com/jump. Because now is the time to act boldly in this unprecedented market shift.